presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hello, guys. Hello. Okay, song stop now. We're done. We got it. Guys, I am so happy to be back here on this wonderful, beautiful Tuesday night here in Houston, Texas. And we have our wonderful guest, Sonia Rinaldi. She is a renowned world-class researcher specializing in instrumental transcommunication. She's done this for 30 years, and we're going to find out more about what she does. She's going to discuss the technology behind how she receives these images, and there's a backstory here that I will tell you in a minute, and Class A EVP audios of deceased loved ones from the other side. She's an expert in the field of ITC, instrumental transcommunication research, and has been featured as a keynote speaker at lots of different conferences, such as the Afterlife Research and Education Conference, the We Don't Die in Boston, the We Don't Die Conference in Orlando. So what's important is her work is results-driven, bringing through evidence of the continuity of life behind the grave. I mean, consciousness survival, people, and the existence of consciousness independent of the physical body. I mean, I've had so many paranormal experiences with Erik. I mean, his EVPs are freaking amazing. So I want to first say that how did I find Sonia? I found her because a blog member emailed me, I think, or texted me, I can't remember, saying that she was at the We Don't Die conference, and Sonia Rinaldi was presenting. And during her presentation, she pulled up a slide of a face that is my son. It is Erik, without a doubt. And Erik actually confirmed that. And Sonia, I don't think she knew about Erik or anything to do with him, but it just happened to happen. Now, Sonia, I will also tell you. Huh?
No,
anyway,
I didn't know Erik yet.
No, yeah. But one more thing I want to tell Sonia before she speaks is that for some reason, and maybe you could explain why, Erik's EVPs are so clear. They're not like I love you, Mom. No, they are like so clear. I have one EVP where he says, after I say, I love you, Erik, he says, love you, Mom. Or oh, God, so many of them. One that's the loudest was when I was being interviewed on the radio. And Erik, and anyway, after the interview, the next day, the host calls me saying that there was a voice there that she did not hear live on the show. And so I thought, okay, it can't be. But anyway, I listened, and I hear Erik saying, minions! I mean, that loud. And then the medium, Jimmy Butler, starts giggling and says he's calling them minions. So there are so many things like this, and I understand why his EVPs tend to be so clear. But anyway, I will leave the floor to you, Sonia. Let us know what's going on. Teach us, enlighten us.
Hello, Elisa. Hi, hello to your listeners. And it is a pleasure to be here talking to you. Calling from
Hi,
Brazil.
back. Right? From Brazil,
Hi,
yes.
Sonia. Yeah, hi, this is Anna. So I think what Elisa is looking to find out is why is there such a difference between EVP quality, where some EVPs are so clear, other EVPs are a little bit more complex. I know that your EVP, Sonia's, are very clear. They're Class A EVPs. Can you explain the process?
Yes, in truth, I think that the quality of the voice depends on you doing the thing correctly or not. If you use a sound source which is clean and clear, the voice will speak very clearly. The problem is that the person doesn't know about this, and they many times use wrong sounds, such as white noise, water noise. This type of sound source is absolutely it doesn't work. So if you do the correct way, the voices will always be clear.
And what is the correct way, Sonia?
To use a sound source which is clean and clear. For instance, instead of using something like a white noise, which is just a sound like this, this is the voice. Our decision ones, when they communicate, they will use the sound that you provide. So if you use a sound like they will use it. So they will speak something like, I love you, because he is using the wrong sound. If you use syllables or the way that we do, we use what persons sometimes call gibberish. If you use it as a clean voice, and preferably, and if possible, I usually use according to the age. For instance, if I'm going to talk to Erik, I would use a male voice of a young boy. If I would speak with an old lady, a grandma, I would use a sound source with a voice of an old lady. So the voice will be much closer to the voice that the person had when alive. So all these topics I learned in all these years of experience, right? So whenever I record nowadays, I use always the related voice. For instance, last Saturday I recorded to an American mom called Brenda, and she lost her daughter Ashley, and I used a young lady voice so that it is quite similar to Ashley's voice, since in truth we didn't have Ashley's voice itself. For instance, sometimes I requested the father or mother if they have the voice of the person when he or she was alive. If they do, great, because we will use precisely the same voice that he had when alive. So he will speak with his own voice. So the result is perfect. Otherwise, it has to be something close, and that is what I do.
Well, so what do you mean by you use a voice to get this EVP? Okay. So I think that maybe your listeners are not very familiar to the process. I thought they were. It is like this. The communicators they need a sound in our space-time so that they can modulate, they can reorganize that sound that's being played in our space-time, and they will reorganize it in their replies. Okay, that is the process of ITC or ECC. So, for instance, if you are recording and let's say that a dog barks, maybe the voice will come over the because that sound will be used to become the reply. That is this process of supplying a voice. Make the contact much easier for them so that you can have a great quantity. For instance, each time that I record, at least 30 or 50 replies will come in because I'm making things easier for them. If they had to come with them their own sounds and materialize a sound in our space, it would be so complicated that they would be at maximum
reply one or two questions, But if you supply the sound source, they can talk a lot. That is what we do.
So the sound source you give is like if you were to try to get an EVP from Erik, would be to get a young man his age, their voice, and they manipulate the energy of that voice to create the EVP?
Yes, perfectly, except that they don't use the energy. They use the voice itself. It is like this, for instance. Let's suppose, that is an incredible technology that we don't have on Earth yet. So, and we are sick and tired of raising evidence that this is exactly the process. For instance, what I do, to be more clear, for instance, let's suppose that I'm going to talk to your mom, okay? So, casually, you don't have your mom's voice. So, I would request an American aide to read a text, a long text of, let's say, some 10 minutes at least, and then I get this recording, and I broke it in syllables and mix all them all together so that you'll never recognize one word. It will be all the syllables mixed, but it will be the voice of the person. You see, the voice goes on being, you can recognize the voice, but you cannot recognize what the voice is saying. And this sound will be played in our space-time, in our lab or whatever, and they will reorganize that voice, that sounds of syllables, into their replies. So that's the process.
That's fascinating. Well, I mean, Erik talks about in his book, My Life After Death, he talks about how he has, manifests EVPs. I can't remember what he said, though, because I'm old and forgetful. But I remember it being quite interesting. My question is, why can Erik, without you, doing what you do, why can he create these amazingly clear EVPs? I'm thinking that maybe it's because he is so loved by hundreds of thousands of people that his energy is elevated. But I don't know. I'm just a layman. So why?
Well, I think that possibly he's working in the station, in the transmission station. And we know that in the North Station, which assists United States, Canada, Australia, England, all people of English language. So this transmission station is huge, and they have the most important brains when they were alive, such as Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison.
Oh, yes.
Lots of Nobel Prizes. And I think that Erik is working there, and so they can use their devices and their knowledge for transmission. So that I think that he's doing a great job, right? Because he is reaching you very clearly.
So, yeah, I bet that's right, that he is getting the help of people like Tesla, Edison, etc., to make these EVPs very clearly. So let's talk about the transmissions of images. I think that's so fascinating. You say they come through a wormhole, but can you expand on everything related to image communication?
Yes, in truth, I think that Erik's apparition was the first time that we saw direct transmission, because that was different for all the other recordings I had before. And now, presently, sometimes they use the old process of image, and sometimes they use the wormhole. But the difference is like this. For instance, when I was recording that day, all of a sudden, I was let's say I was pointing my camera to a wall, okay, and I was recording, and then all of a sudden I saw a beautiful boy, very, very clear, and somewhat smiling, and he has a different color of hair, beautiful, beautiful guy. And then I looked at him, and I started looking around to see what that picture was coming from, because I had no idea. I had never seen that boy. I didn't know how it was coming to in front of my camera, and I looked all around, and I couldn't see that it was coming from nowhere. So I perceived that for the first time, I think that was Tesla's test of transmission through wormholes. Why? Because it was something like a port. You know, a port. For
like
instance,
a portal?
I had seen some. A port.
Okay.
A port is when some object
like a portal.
comes up.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
A port. Yeah. Okay. So, and these objects that comes into our space-time, such as stones, flowers, things that they can insert in our side, materialize in our side. These objects comes through wormholes, so that it is. Let's see. For instance, once I was in Italy having lunch with the famous pioneer of instrumental transcommunication, Marcello Bacci, and we were in a restaurant, and all of a sudden, from the ceiling, jumped some stones over the table.
What?
Imagine,
what
it was
happened?
a public place. So,
wait, what happened?
From the ceiling, some stones fall down over the table.
Yeah.
This is called a port. It is a French word.
Apportment. Eric does that.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric has done that many times, where I will be sitting down, and all of a sudden, an airsoft BB from an airsoft gun will appear at the ceiling and drop to the floor. And he says that what he does is create in his realm that airsoft BB, and then he lowers the energy of it so that it gets into the visible range of the electromagnetic spectrum into the 3D world. That's fascinating.
Yes, it is indeed. And I think that the images that Tesla is testing now are coming the same way. Let's say that it appears from nothing and it jumps in our space. So it is incredible, because it is like a transmission from a CNN channel, you know. It is something like coming straight from their space to our space. So it is an incredible technology that's testing.
Do you think that it's the same as with apportment, that the spirits are creating their image, or have their image, and then they lower the vibration of the image so that it appears to you in 3D space?
Yeah, I think that as I said, in truth, there are, up to now, we know two types of transmission of images. And one is this one, which is new for us. It was, as I mentioned, it was the first time with Erik. It was the first time that this happened, and later it happened again, coming from nowhere and jumped in our space-time, the images coming from the other side straight. But there are before that, I used another process which also functions not that well, because those images are perfect. Erik is
oh my
beautiful.
gosh. Oh, I've seen the images on your page, and some of them are so clear. It's amazing, and it looks like they're in the Department of Motor Vehicles getting their pictures for their license, their driver's license, because they're smiling. It's like, oh, this is a passport photo or a DMV photo. Yeah, make it good. It's so hilarious. So, how do you know when it's coming from through a wormhole?
Yeah, because I'm not using any resource in my side. For instance, that day I was just filming, recording with a video camera my wall, a white wall. So
okay.
it couldn't be here anywhere, and mainly I have never seen Erik's photo. So you see, it is something that comes straight from the other side. It is fantastic.
That's amazing. So, do you have some sort of special camera that you use?
No, this is a good question. In truth, I use everything absolutely normal. Maybe I think that the other side wants to show that all the work is there. They don't depend on our technology, which is, by the way, very primitive for them.
Yeah.
But they provide the solution and use our old technology. And I use ordinary camera, ordinary television, ordinary computer, mainly ordinary everything. Everything is normal because it doesn't depend on these, depend on the other side.
Now do you use a PC or a Mac? I'm just kidding. I don't care.
A PC.
Oh, you traitor. No, I'm kidding. I'm a Mac person because I'm stupid and I need something simple, okay? All right, so how do you capture the EVPs? Yeah. What do you use for that to capture their voices?
For instance, I have large collection of voices of all types, right? So if I wanted to talk to Tesla, I use American man voice, all broken and mixed, so that I supply that, and Tesla will reorganize that in his reply, and he speaks absolutely clear. It is very amazing. So that is my process for instrumental transcommunication, or EVP as you call.
That's fascinating. But do you use any kind of special recording equipment?
No, usually just the computer, because presently the computer has everything, has software for recording, for editing, for everything. So a computer is already a portable transmission reception station. You just use the computer and nothing else. A microphone, of course, if you can use a microphone of better quality, that's good. Or for listening, then it is convenient to have a good earphones. But everything that you go to Best Buy and buy, there is no problem.
Well, how can a regular person who wants to communicate with their deceased loved ones capture EVPs? Do they just set out a voice-activated, recorder, or can you give us some tips on how they can do that?
Yeah, I haven't been using tape recorders or recorders for a long time. I think that for more than 15 years, because everything I do presently in the computer, and whenever you learn, you see that it is much easier and much more comfortable to use a PC than a recorder.
Oh, yeah.
And the voices are more clean, and also much easier to listen, to manipulate it, to select it, to save everything. So it is quite easy. We have a friend, Sherry Pearl, who she's American from New York.
Yes, I know her.
You do? Yeah. So she made a table with all the tips for beginners. And I think that should be pleased to supply, and you can attach to in your website so that your listeners can follow Sherry's step by step. Because I haven't been doing that anymore, but she does, and it is incredible because she's helping people to begin.
Are you saying that she can teach us step by step how to capture EVPs from our loved ones?
Yes, she made something like a guide, something very short but very very functional, and she shows step by step, and she also made a video, and it is very easy to start, but obviously that depends on the dedication of the person. Obviously, I think that everything that you for you to succeed in life, you have to be committed, right? So I think that obviously she can teach how to begin, and the rest will depend on the person who will obviously dedicate and call the daughter or son. It is good to have something like a systematic procedure. Such, for instance, you decided that every Wednesday you will record, or every Friday. I mean, it is interesting to have a certain system and not something like, I don't have anything to do now, I will record. This doesn't work because, they have to come from a transmission station. They are very organized. They are busy. So we have to be organized with them too. So I think that all these instructions are possibly in Sherry's guide, and I'm sure that should be pleased to help your listeners.
I would love for you to share how to get in touch with Sherry. Do you know her website, or could you email it to me and I'll attach it to the.
Yes, of course. I can send you later. I think that it is just sherryperl.com, but I prefer to send it to you.
So it's probably SHERR. No, it's SHERI, if I remember, PEARL.com. So y'all try that. If it doesn't work, I'll fix it for you. But that is so fascinating. Now, how did you get into this? What started all this?
Yeah, in truth, usually persons who become interested in afterlife, it is because they lost someone.
Absolutely.
Loved one, usually moms. Yeah. But curiously, it wasn't my case because, thank God, by the time that I started being interested in afterlife, I hadn't lost anyone that time. Obviously, later I did, because everyone, one day or other, will lose someone in life, either mom or father, anyone. So, but in truth, I am a very rational person, and I have difficulty in believing in something. I had to have very strong evidence of something so that I can say that I know, instead of I say I believe. I don't like to believe, I think that either you know or you don't. To believe for me doesn't function,
Wow,
it's
Sonia,
way of being.
Oh my gosh, your story sounds so much like mine, because as a physician, I was raised to think that something to exist, you had to be able to perceive it with one of your senses or measure it with an instrument. Plus, I was raised by atheists. So when Erik died, it's like, well, what? But my atheist father, whose first words to me when I was screaming on the phone saying that Erik had died was, oops, sorry, Elisa, he's going to turn to dust, okay? He called 3 days later in a panic, saying that he was reading his newspaper in a chair. He put the newspaper down, and there was Erik standing in front of him. And then Erik turned into, sort of transformed into his little boy self and sat in my father's lap. And he said in Spanish, because my father's from Spain, things come in threes. So I don't know really what that meant, but that started everything for me. I said, my father, who was a narcissistic psychopath, he was horrible. He beat us so badly that many of us, of my siblings, ran away to become homeless. Okay, he would not say that to make me feel better. So, and I'm glad, because that was proof to me that I need to go ahead and investigate this. I need to make sure that I don't have my head in the sand, and maybe there is life after death. So you sound like me. Like you wanted answers, you wanted science, you wanted to electromagnetic frequency and spectrum and all that stuff. You wanted science behind it.
Yes, for sure. I think that would be the only thing to convince me that something is real. And then I entered in this field about 30 years ago. And all the time I'm worried about the investigation. I think that what I do presently is half of the way. I think that the other half has to be the proof, the authentication by science, and that is what I'm searching for so long, because I think that it is wonderful to listen to the moms saying, "Oh, Sonia, I thank you because my daughter spoke to me, because my son spoke, because my son appeared." But if this is not proved to be true by science, I think it is just half, So that's my way, right? And I think that I'll try all the time.
Yeah, well, the famous theoretical physicist Thomas Campbell, who I adore, he wrote a trilogy called My Big TOE, Theory of Everything, but my big toe, Theory of Everything. And he said that we are like our intestinal bacteria. For all we know, the food that comes down to us in the intestines is manna from heaven. We don't know that wheat seeds have to be sown and crops rotated. We don't know about the global economics of wheat. We don't know about taking it to the miller and transporting it to the places that make the bread and all that stuff. Yet it still exists. If we get our heads out of our intestines, we can, there's actually a lot that just because we don't see or sense, that really is true. So I love that metaphor of his. So there was nothing that really triggered one event that triggered your interest in this?
Anna, help me.
Yes, in other words, Sonia, what she's wondering if there's anything specific that motivated you to get into this line of research.
Oh yes, of course. I think that in truth, my life is this work. I love it. I do it all day long, from Sunday to Sunday, and I think that I obviously I don't know, but I don't charge it to do what I do. I think that to help the persons is an obligation, and I think that what I get in return is precisely the happiness of those moms that are suffering. So I think that this is a very, very important cause for me, for guide my life. I think that sometimes I feel that I use my days the best way I can, and I think that this is I'm pleased for that. I think that everybody should should help people and feeling the satisfaction of being useful, of using well your life.
Yes.
And so
I totally agree. I just had a session today with a medium, and we were talking about that. My son said, "Mom, you need to take care of yourself." And he talked about how I give and I give and I give, but I don't get that much in return. But that's not true. I get paid in the satisfaction of helping my son make people's lives better. That's enough for me. And you are so similar to me. I mean, seriously, we must be soul sisters. Seriously.
Yeah, possibly. I think that as we who trust that the life is a reality, I think that in truth what we are doing, yes, of course, we are helping people, but we are helping us ourselves also for our career, for our future, spiritual future,
Yeah, but I think that, we have a reality TV show that we're going to hopefully do, and I'm going to talk to you about that. So maybe that's a way for you to get some revenue to help with your research. Also, I think it would be really good, and Jennifer, you can ask Erik this, that you talk to Erik and find out what is your next step, what is the next direction. Jennifer, hi Jennifer,
yes.
I love you, our awesome medium.
Hi. Yeah, Erik told me before we started, he said you and I are going to be pretty quiet on this end of things tonight. But yes, absolutely talk to him and find out what the next step. He's a big reason that we're all sitting here right now having this conversation. So he is definitely willing to continue to help.
Yeah. So anyway, I will send you an email about that. And also I wanted to send you the post of the Tesla interview that we did and some other stuff. So I will send you that. Is there anything else you want to share before we start having Erik take calls?
No, just to leave a big embrace to your listeners and to you, and to say that it was a pleasure to be here with you today.
That's awesome. And you might want to interject because some callers may want to ask you questions, obviously. So, Erik, can we start taking calls from listeners, Bet?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, by the way, I love you in case you forgot. Okay. We got somebody from the 7.
He's like, I love you too.
I know. All right, we have somebody from the 780 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi, I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. Who are you? And, your first name, basically. And where are you calling from?
It's Michelle, and I'm calling from Alberta, Canada.
Oh, boy. Is it cold up there?
Actually, it's been beautiful. I think it was 16 today.
What's 16? Translate it to American, girl. I'm kidding.
I know. I was just thinking that.
We're terrible about Fahrenheit and Celsius and metric and inches and stuff. We're still measuring horses by hands and the weight of people by pounds or stones or whatever stupid. But go ahead.
So I can just ask a question. I've never called into your show.
Oh, wow. Okay, everybody gets one question. Otherwise, they can go on and on. But go ahead, Michelle. Go for it, dude.
Okay. I guess I'm just kind of curious about career. What do you want? Something specific or just
whatever you want? Erik, help her. You know what she wants to know.
No, he says you don't need to be specific, but you do need to make a change.
Oh.
He said you need to pick a lane and get in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is he laughing at her?
A little bit. So, So if we're flip-flopping, it's how he's putting it is, it's like the indecisiveness is the issue, not your ability to do whatever it is you decide to do moving forward. And he says you do have options. But the indecisiveness is what's holding you back. So he says, pick a lane and get in it.
Okay,
Any
interesting.
specific direction for her?
I don't know. You're not. I'm asking him. I'm like, is she a driver or something? Why are you? I don't know why he's just pick a lane and get in it. So it's like you have options. There's a few different options that you have. You could get more training and do something new. You could go back to something you've done in the past, and that is not. He said, what you decide to do is not as important as just making a change.
Okay.
Ah.
I think I know what you mean.
All right, so call back next week or whenever, and let us know what happens. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle, for calling in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Blessings.
Bye.
I will say he's kind of like jabbering a bit in my ear, and so I'm just going to kind of fill it in. He said, a lot of times he said humans tend to think when faced with a decision or a change that one of the decisions is right and the other one is wrong. He says that creates paralysis for movement forward.
Analysis
and so
paralysis.
He said, yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we won't do that anymore. Okay. We got somebody
yes,
from
we will.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. 805 area code. Hey there. What's up?
Hi. This is Donna. I'm from California. Hello.
Hi, Donna.
I do meditation daily every morning. And about 3 weeks ago, I guess I heard an intuitive message that came in and said, it's coming soon. And then I heard it again. So I don't know what's coming. But I've been praying for certain things. And
okay. So what he was telling me before you even started talking is that your meditations have changed. You have cleared out some blockages. So you're able to connect and hear messages more clearly. Okay, so what he's telling me is that is so key to you because once you're able to communicate a little bit better with your guides and with others on the other side, he said your anxiety and your stress about stuff is going to lessen like tenfold, which is just going to make life easier for you in general.
Do you suffer from any anxiety?
Excuse me? What?
Do you suffer a little bit from stress and anxiety?
Not really, because I'm retired and I kind of take it easy. I walk every morning on the beach for an hour, and then I go swimming for an hour, and then I come back.
Nice.
I do my meditation, and I read my books, and
go
visit family, like brothers and sisters, and so I don't think so. And then I'm in a spiritual group learning to learn mediumship skills. But I hear my mother and my nephew all the time. I do get messages from them.
Wow. Yeah. So what is coming, Erik? What does she mean by that?
It's just the next stage of the awakening, the next stage of just being connected to the other side, and it feels very, very exciting.
Cool. So lucky, girl.
It is.
Oh my God, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much.
It's awesome. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, got one from the 419 area code. Hey there, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hello? Oh, hi,
Hello.
this is
Can you hear
Mohab. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how are you? I was just calling to ask if I can get any kind of guidance from Erik, if you could just watch my back, and I want to thank you all for everything.
Oh, thank you, babe.
As far as him watching your back, he says you have a lot of that kind of energy with you from the other side, so your back is watched. But I will tell you, he says you need it right now. You're in a period of time right now where you definitely need the kind of extra help from the other side, and they're there helping you.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anything
You're
that
welcome.
she needs to do, Eric? And you've got her back,
No,
right, Eric? You're going to take care of her, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh.
So you just got to get to the other side of this.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. It's been like it's one thing after another. So it's like I'm just
Yes.
I'm just going. I'm leaving it up to Eric and leaving it up to the universe because I give up.
Well,
you know?
well, let me ask you: is there anything, Eric, that she needs to do now, or does she just need to go with the flow and experience?
Yeah. Okay. So what he said is that she's okay. So in addition for asking for me to have her back, then he says you need to trust that we do have your back and try to let go of some of these worries, and just know that we're trying to clear it out as quickly as we can, but you still have a little ways to go. So as much as you can, just turn this worry over, and know that Eric's helping as much as he can. Okay.
Jesus got the wheel, girl. Jesus got take the wheel. Let go and let God. Or let God and let go. I can't remember.
Exactly.
I'm trying. Thank you so much, and blessings to you all. Love you, Eric. Thank you.
Love you too.
Okay,
Yeah,
bye-bye.
it's so hard to let go, though. It's so hard, Eric. How do people do it?
He says it's okay. What he's saying is it takes real practice. It takes real practice and dedication. And he said even then, as humans, you're never going to let go of everything. You're never going to be able to let go because he says by nature humans think they have control of things.
Yeah, that's true. We need control. That's the fear side of our ego. We got to have control. Yeah. Okay, well, let's take somebody from the 516 area code. Hey there, what's going on?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Eliza.
Hey, who
Hello?
am I speaking with?
Yes,
Hi there.
my name is Nancy from Long Island. Thank you so much, Erik. Thank you so much. After I lost my daughter, my infant daughter, I called Erik about a month and a half. It was
you lost your infant daughter at a month and a half?
Yes, no, after a month and a half, I found Erik. I found your website. I found you on your website, and I started reading. That's how and since then, a lot. I cannot thank you guys enough. Enough.
Thank you.
You know, and
thank
I miss my daughter every day, but with Erik, my God. What I wanted to ask Erik, I don't want to take your time. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you, Erik. Erik, I love you. I said I love him every day. I follow him every day. And I asked him for my daughter. I think I got a sign from her.
I have to interrupt real quickly because Erik is like, tell her I'm blowing her a kiss. Tell her I'm blowing her a kiss. Tell her I'm blowing her a kiss.
Well, Erik, can you bring her daughter in for some sort of message?
Well, yeah. What was your question?
One of my question is I wanna see what my daughter has to say to me, and another one, I wanna know my life purposes. I wanna know what I'm here to do. Who am I? I wanna find out. Please, because I have so many losses. Actually, I lost like two daughters. Within 2 months because they were twins.
Oh, no.
Yes, Eliza, and I don't have any, you know.
How old were they?
About one lived, the other one was about 4 months. He was stillbirth, and the other one was about like 30. She lived for 37 days. I thought she was so alert. I thought she was gonna make it, you know. And she started having and she passed in my arm.
Let's talk to them.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Okay, so this is a lot of energy. Me physically, I am so hot. I have so much heat running through my body. This is a way that you will know that their energy is around. They create heat in your body. This was unfortunately part of the soul plan. You are a very, very strong soul. Anybody who chooses a life to come in with the loss of a child always has great, great strength. You have the loss of 2 children to deal with. This is something that was in your contract this time. This energy has cleared out. You will not have to experience this again. The souls of your children have been with you many, many times before. It's funny because to me, how they're talking now with Erik, they're grown, okay? So there's a very good sense of humor. Like, oh, you're going to know us when you see us, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, right, it's these 2. And so this is not the end. This is not the end. And you came in this time, and you put so much on your plate. Erik just said you put so much on your plate that your counsel was like, are you sure you want to do this? But you're very stubborn, Erik said. You're very stubborn. You knew you'd be able to get through it.
But my God, I'm learning so much to communicate with them. Joanna, Mommy, tell her Mommy loves us so much. Tell her I wanted to hold her. I wanted to hold her so much. And I believe it because of Erik.
Yes.
Because of Erik.
Yes.
I do believe because I have dream about Erik and I have dream about them. I know that. I'm crying, but each time I'm mentioning their name, it's not that long.
No, let me ask Erik this. Erik, why did they make that spiritual contract? Why was the loss of these 2 children for her? What was the purpose of that spiritual contract? Because what he's saying about her is because she has experienced so much in other lifetimes that it's like, oh my God. He's sorry. He's making me laugh. I don't mean to laugh right now, but he says this is like the X Games for her. Very extreme.
Oh God.
Sorry.
I know.
So you needed.
I don't know why I did that, but
you needed it.
Okay.
Well, your soul does. Your higher self does. And he says you're doing a beautiful job. You're doing a beautiful job with what you're dealing with this time.
Okay.
He said most people wouldn't have made it as far as you have.
Yes.
I know how it is. Girl, I know.
Yes. Elisa, you know. I don't have to tell you. You know.
No.
And I feel for you. So you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
You know.
All right, what's her life purpose? I'm sorry. Well, okay. He says to tie up all the loose ends. To learn kind of everything else and clear out energy of stuff she's done with. Really, there's a lot for you to learn this time. So there's not one big thing. It's like there's a bunch of stuff that you're clearing out. Losing children. There's isolation. There's love. You learn so much about love this time. So you have a lot of stuff that you're working on because your plan, he says, before you came in was to kind of wrap it all up this time, so you don't have to come in again.
Okay.
Oh, good plan.
Okay. Well, okay, so I think it would be really interesting for you to, get together with Jennifer and find out what all these little fractals
things that I need to do. Yes, Eliza, you're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much, Eliza. I hope one day we will meet. I'm working on it. When you're doing your event, definitely, Eliza. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Jennifer.
Listen, dude. I go to Norway all the time in my to go to our little mountain cabin. We used to meet up there. It's closer. You can fly Ryanair right, there. Our cabin is in the southern part of Norway. That's not too far from Sweden, right?
No, but I'm in Long Island.
Oh, that's right. Why did I think Sweden? What? Oh my God! Never mind. It's old brain happening.
No, that's okay.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jennifer. I will make an appointment
You're
with
welcome.
you. Thank you, Eliza. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
We love you.
Good night.
Care. Love you.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh gosh, the pain. I just remember the pain so well after hearing her. I just know the despair. Oh, wow.
Is Sonia still here? I have a question.
Yeah, Sonia, are you still here?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I am.
So I just have a quick question about when you set up your computer or your camera, to record the blank wall. Then do you just go back and the images, you just capture them in a still moment of that recording of the blank wall?
Yeah, in truth, in that specific case of Erik, I could see him in the wall, moving a little bit and smiling a little bit. So I could see him, and I just checked immediately if it was being recorded, because that was the most important, to be recording, and it was. So I just kept it quiet and looking until that he disappeared. This is one of the processes that happens, and that apparition Erik was great.
Fascinating.
Oh, I'm so proud of my boy. All right, so Sonia, I've got a lot of information to send you, including about the TV show, because I think you could really, really bring a lot of relief to people through that. But do you want to share how people can connect with you, or any other information you want to share before we close the show?
Yes, we have an email. If anyone wants to take a note, it is. I will spell it. Okay, IPATI at the same word, IPATI.org. If anyone wanted to contact me, obviously it's P.
Okay, so I is in
Peter.
India, P is in Papa, A is in Alpha, T is in Tango, I is in India.
No.
Okay, at the same thing .org. All right, awesome. Anything else you want to share? She has a Facebook page. You guys need to check that out too. And you can see the images.
Well, for that I'll need. Yes,
Go ahead.
I think Anna can help me and say our Facebook.
Yes, so Sonia has a Facebook page. If you do a search under Sonia Rinaldi, it'll bring it up. It says ePathy, instrumental communication, and it's in Portuguese translation, but if you search on Facebook, you will find her page. And so that the listeners know, the original Facebook page had a lot in Portuguese, but now we have a team in the U.S. that's promoting her work here. So we are posting both in Portuguese and in English. And there's a lot of interesting videos that are posted, including videos from the We Don't Die conferences and a lot of great information and images.
Yes, and there is a gallery of images that I found was really fascinating. And also, Sonia has a video for English-speaking folks like us that are a little slow on our Portuguese. Oh, well, what can you do? Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Erik, and thank you so much, Sonia, Anna, Brandon, Jennifer. You guys can get in touch with Jennifer at Psychic Medium Jennifer Doran, DORAN.com. I love you all. Great show. Thank you, so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Anna and Sonia, whatever. Brandon, I'm going to send you guys some stuff in a little bit. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Elise, on Sherry Pearl's website, there's
there's a prayer registry link, and she has
Yes.
galleries of images Sonia has done that are not recognized. So it's
all right, awesome.
parents or other.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
real
so
good
much
to
for
know.
that. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.